Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. Hey, different emphasis on a different syllable. Guys, Max is here, Terry's here, I'm Gerry. Who's Marco going to start? It's always weird. No, we rarely get these right as far as trying to figure out who Marco is going to start for the Cup. I'd say we get it right pretty often with normal league games. But we never know. How many players is he going to rest? Which players is he going to rest? Yeah, we're going to have to kind of shoot from the hip, go off the cuff on this, and just do our best. Let's start with Max. Even though Terry said he really wanted to go first, Max's turn. So, Max, what do you got, man?
In goal, Jordan Pickford, Seamus Coleman at right back, Michael Keane and Yerry Mina at centre half, Lucas Digne at left back, Idrissa Gueye and Andre Gomez central midfield, Gylfi Sigurdsson just in front of them, Bernard, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Ademola Lookman up front.
All right, Terry, what do you got? I'm totally different from you guys, by the way. Totally different.
I am going to go with Pickford in goal, Coleman at right back, Leighton Baines at left back, Keane and Zuma centre back, Idrissa Gueye and Andre Gomez in midfield, Bernard on the left, Sigurdsson in the middle, and Theo Walcott on the right with Calvert-Lewin up front.
I am rolling with Jordan Pickford in goal. So all of us starting with Pickford after we saw Marco do that last time. I'm going with John Joe Kenny. So I'm the only one doing that. Also going Yerry Mina, Kurt Zuma, Leighton Baines on the left, Idrissa Gueye. I had a lot of flip-flopping over whether or not I'm doing Davies or Gomez, but I think I'm going Gomez. Sigurdsson, and then Walcott on the right, Lookman on the left, DCL up top. I was really excited about the possibility of Lookman on the left. Well, we've been. I think you guys. Which one of you has recommended it for league play a couple of times now? I'm trying to remember. Maybe it was Max one time and then Terry another time. We've been talking about Lookman going on the left.
Yeah, I think we've been banging that drum for ages, haven't we? Really. Mm-hmm. We've been banging the drum to get him in the team. Now, obviously, finally he's getting the run of games and he's showing his way.
Yeah. I mean, I said it last time, but Max has said it a few times before. That's mostly Max. He does look better on the left than he does on the right. It's just more natural to him. It's actually a good idea, that, but just because Bernard scored last game, I think he'll definitely play, and I think because Baines played so well in the previous game, I think the two of them have earned to retain their places in the next cup match. Everyone else, up for grabs with them too, I think, and probably Calvert-Lewin are the only three guarantees.
Yeah, I put Kenny in because I'm in this weird, hey, if we're not going to bring in a right back, then Coleman needs to not be playing every game.
I think we need I think we need the senior figure though for this game.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think due to the...
Oh, senior figure, that's what you said. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I think with the atmosphere having the potential to be quite hostile, I think they'll want... This the reason I wouldn't have put Davis and I haven't put Lookman in either. I think he might protect some of the younger players, including Richarlison, just because it might affect them. So I'm all for Kenny starting more games, just if this was a different championship team or maybe at Goodison, all for it. But I think he might... stick with the more level-headed players and the more players, just because it's going to be a hard place to go. So, we've seen Richarlison and Bernard have little spats with players before, and if they get roughed up, it might, they might take the bait, and I think he'll be aware of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You guys took a very you're taking atmosphere and that kind of stuff into consideration. That's something I wasn't really thinking about when I put it together. I was just thinking, make sure, because I didn't actually think that Kenny dropped off much when Coleman came out, but that's a legit point about possibly making sure we've got some heads to cool the other heads. Not the worst idea, frankly. I do think Baines will help. in that regard,
Yeah.
having Baines in. And honestly, I really think Richarlison needs a rest. Personally, I think he needs a rest. I actually think Bernard needs one too, if I'm being totally honest. I did not think they had great games in their last league game. A lot of misplayed passes. And if I'm being completely honest, I actually think Andre Gomez needs one too. But it's just such a big drop-off. It's just a difference in the game when you have Gomez to Davies. You know, and I think when you've got the opportunity to put someone with that level of quality in the center against a championship team, I feel like you need to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been obvious for quite some time now. Quite a few of the players are like fatigued. You know, I think alongside Tottenham, we played more games over the last month or so than anybody else. But as you say, and as I said earlier, just this game in particular, the FA Cup, it's something that we need to hang on to. He showed against Lincoln that he is prioritising the competition, and I feel like that's an approach that we need to pursue. Just as well, like Bernard, it was touch and go whether we'd start him against the lower league opposition like Lincoln, but expecting him to get knocked here, there, and everywhere. But obviously, he turned in a really good goal. At least I'm hoping that would be the same for a couple of other players who are, up for contention.
Yeah, and I had Walcott starting. Did both of you guys have him starting as well?
I didn't, but I can understand it.
Okay.
It's actually going to be a bit of a big game for Lookman because he's former Charlton, and Charlton and Millwall are a little bit. Charlton, Millwall, and Crystal Palace are all like sort of they don't like each other because they're that sort of area. So Lookman, I don't think this will stop him playing, whether it's off the bench or starting, but he's going to come in for some special attention. So we'll have to see what he makes of that.
Interesting. And bringing up one more thing we talked about off camera, but we haven't really talked about it here when we started recording. Max and I have gone for Mina, and Terry thinks that's the most ridiculous thing he's ever heard. And he threatened to get off the Skype call because he was so upset. No, he brought up a really good point. Terry, you want to tell them what you were thinking?
Yeah, I just think Silva to be wise to sort of err on the side of caution with the more volatile players. Like, if you're Millwall, you're going to look at the Everton players and see which ones you can sort of get under the skin of, and he'll be one of them. Richarlison, Bernard. I wouldn't have said Gomez until the game against Bournemouth when he looked like he'd really lost it. I don't think he's a target per se for the opposition to wind up, but Mina will be a big one because he does tread a fine line sometimes, and I'm looking. I'd love to see Mina reintroduced into the first team, but not this game. In the Premier League, ideally, I just think Keane and Zuma have got a little bit more Premier League experience and a little bit calmer. Take a little less risks with their tackles and stuff. Because, to be honest, it's one of the few positions, despite the fact we're not very good with our defensive record, we actually have got quite a bit of depth at centre back. So we could even see Jagielka play. I mean, I'd hopefully not, just because I think the pace will be a little bit too much for him. Because championship teams, even the lesser championship teams, they all play 100 mile an hour. So this would probably be a little bit more difficult for Jagielka than even a Premier League game would be. Yeah. But we've got a lot of players who can play there, and I just wouldn't. Unlike Gomez, I'd like to see Gomez rested because he needs a rest, as you say. But the options aren't great, are they? Like we trade off a lot in not playing him, so I don't think we've got the luxury of resting him. But I think we have got the luxury of resting someone at centre back, whether it's me or whether it's someone else.
Is there a possibility that Gay is going to be rested and we're going to roll three at the back?
I couldn't imagine.
I mean, obviously, all three of us will, our hearts will drop down through our arses if that happens. We totally agree with that. However, if he's thinking this is not a super potent offensive team that will still create chances with a stout back line, Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, the Mina thing. Can we, if Mina actually does play, can we just lump some corners 2 feet higher than everybody else's head and let him? We thought that was going to be happening every damn weekend, and it's happened like once. Okay? Once. And I have been, when you watch Sigurdsson take a corner now, how often does he put it to near post and does not get past? It is one of the more frustrating things.
Gerry, that's a long-standing Everton problem.
I know! I thought it would go away!
It got to that point with Baines, it got to that point with Arteta. That's not changing anytime soon.
It's nuts! It's like there's some weird Everton juju that happens to our corner kickers. I mean, Dean is the only one who hasn't really fallen into that too much, but it still happens with him too.
Me personally, to solve that, I would drop outswinging corners altogether. I think the idea of an outswinging corner is absolutely ridiculous. Like, by the time it meets your head, it's just messing with all the direction of the ball, etc. So, yeah, whip it into the box. But that's a discussion for another day.
If you put Messi in an Everton shirt, he's hit the first man with his corners. I don't know what it is about the Everton badge. It does it to every single player. Ridiculous.
Yeah. I when he came in, I was like, all right, we're going to start getting a lot of goals on corners now. And then we have Gerry Mina, who's like 7.5 feet tall, and he's got like a 30-foot vertical leap. Yes, I'm using hyperbole. Sorry. But he towers, and he can sky over everybody. I mean, I feel like he should be dunking on every team, you know, and it's not happening. It's pissing me off. So yeah, I was looking for some crazy skied headers, and it's not happening yet. So yeah.
Just all right. We've spent I've spent a lot of time talking up this potential atmosphere and the hostile environment. Here's where it's the worst damn squib of a match ever. Like, and it's really boring and nothing happens. But clearly the TV doesn't think so, because they've picked this one out, haven't they? They smell an upset or a game worthy of showing. So I think they think something's on.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it would almost be a good thing if this is if there's lots of chances in this for us. You know what I mean? Because if it's just a stalemate, we haven't done super great with those lately. You know what I mean? Where we don't have a lot of chances, just because we just haven't been clinical. Oh, and something to consider. One other thing. I'm totally like, if you have something to say, let me talk through you. I am American guy. No, if Cenk Tosun, these rumors of Palace putting in a bid on him, that means we would potentially be an additional striker down. If that is the case. I bring this up every once in a while, and usually it's stuff that doesn't even need to be considered. It's not even true, but something to keep in mind if he doesn't make the matchday squad, because this is a game where we would maybe be utilizing some of our striker depth.
Yeah, definitely.
So, gents, we good?
Yep.
All right. So that has been our starting 11 segment for the Millwall match, FA Cup. We'll see if Marco listens. Who's he listening to? All right. So thanks so much for checking out the Toffee Blues YouTube channel. Please subscribe to us if you haven't done so it shows up in your little feed, and so you figure out when we've got our videos coming out. Just kind of good. It puts it with all the other subs that you've got. So do that. Check out Terry on the Liverpool Echo fan jury. He'll tell you when. He'll tell you where. Look at his Twitter, or just give him a call. Just shoot him a text. He's cool with that. Max, however, will not answer. He has too much going on. So don't contact him. He doesn't like that. Check out Max pretty much everywhere, but also on the Toffee Blues website. He does a lot of analysis there, and it's good stuff. So please keep an eye on his Twitter for that stuff too. That's it. We got one more video segment to go. We're talking five-a-side. Yes, every channel has to do this once in a while, so here it is. And bye.